Point of the season, 5-3. The way I would describe our feeling organizationally is that we are feeling encouraged but incomplete. Certainly happy with the progress that we've built upon since last year, but really, and Kevin will be the first to tell you this, we still have a lot of work to do. That being said, really pleased with the work that Kevin and his staff have done in a year that's really forced them to deal with unprecedented circumstances. They've done a nice job of getting our team, getting our players ready to play on a weekly basis. And our players themselves, they've been a resilient bunch, both in games and dealing with just the ebb and flow of everything that they've had to deal with during a very difficult 2020. And I'm pleased with the progress that we've made on the field. Also pleased with the progress that our guys have made, off the field. I think 5-3 is nice, but I don't think anyone in our organization views it as necessarily like an accomplishment, just because the season is incomplete. It's not like we set out a goal to say, hey, we're going to be 5-3 in 8 games. We want to try and compete and win every game. To your question specifically about Baltimore and Pittsburgh, from my perspective, I think it still is very much incomplete. We obviously did not play well against either of those opponents during the first 2 months of the year. But that all being said, we're looking for improvement over the second half of the season. We're fortunate enough that we get both of those opponents again, and that's something that we'll look at in broader strokes once we get into the offseason.
T-Man, that's Andrew Berry. He says the team is incomplete. Isn't it his job to make it complete and not play the year game and how many years you want to be ready to compete when you should be ready now?
Yeah, but his argument, his defense would be that, it's a new regime and they can't be expected to turn it into a legitimate Super Bowl contender overnight, that steps have to be taken. I mean, first of all, the Browns have to win consistently. Then they have to get into the playoffs. Then they have to ascend to a division champion caliber team. And then you can think about making a long run in the playoffs. Because I get that wild card teams in the NFL can and do go deep, but you can't build your team that way and expect to be a Super Bowl contender if you're just trying to scrounge around to get into the wild card. The Browns have to figure out a way to win the division, and that's going to be extremely difficult to do, we know, because the Steelers and the Ravens are more than a couple of cuts above the Browns.